Hey guys, so in today's video I am going to talk about live selling. I'm going to give you my top tips for live selling in 2024. It's a new year. Is anyone else still like, holy shit, it's a new year? Even though January is like pretty much over. So a little disclaimer, these are tips and tricks that work for me. This is my opinion. You can agree with it, you cannot agree with it, but these are just things that I like to see and do when I am hosting a live show or when I am watching one. So a little background. I have been live selling for a year and a half now, a year and 7 months. I started out on Whatnot, then I dabbled in some Poshmark shows, and now I'm live selling mainly on Jamble. I do have a couple of videos comparing the different live selling platforms that I have been on. I will link that down below if you're interested how, one compares to the next, but spoiler alert, I like Jamble the best. So here's some tips and tricks. These are in no particular order. The first tip I have is you need to schedule your show at the right time. So when you are scheduling your show, take into consideration that not everyone that's going to be watching your show or wanting to watch your show lives in the same time zone as you. So if you schedule your show for like 8 o'clock in the morning and you live on the East Coast, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. So how many people are going to be up watching your show on the West Coast? Probably not a lot. And again, think about, the opposite at night. If you're scheduling a show too late, if you're, say, you live on the West Coast and you're scheduling a show at like 9 o'clock, it's midnight on the East Coast. So, some people stay up that late. I don't. Try to find like that sweet spot. Obviously, it has to do with like your schedule and stuff, but if you can, try to find that sweet spot. If you like morning shows, do it when, both coasts or like everyone in the country is awake. When it comes to pricing your items, don't buy in to the $1 start hype unless you have the following that will be there and, bid stuff up, or you don't care about what your stuff sells for. My recommendation is to start your prices at the lowest amount that you would be happy getting for that item. I can't tell you how many shows I've been in where they do dollar starts and then they get mad when it sells for $1 or for $3. It's like you're creating your own problem. You could have just started it at your lowest price and then, it wouldn't be that stressful. You wouldn't be angry right now, like literally yelling. Man, I've seen some people go off like, chat, what are you doing? Why aren't you bidding that up? It's like, whoa. I personally like fast-paced shows. I mean, you don't got to be like speed friggin' like, 2 seconds sudden death. I feel like that's a little crazy. I personally like shows, where they run things one after another. I don't like shows where people just sit there. Like I've been into shows where people would be like, let me know if you guys want me to run anything. And they're like sitting on their bed and they're not even like looking at the camera, not even like engaging with the chat. Or if they are engaging with the chat, it's like every minute, they're like watching TV. It's like, are we like, are the buyers, like, are we interrupting your time? Like, it's just awkward. I recommend going at a decent pace. You can either like go in order or you can take requests from people. I know personally, if I'm in a show and the person isn't, they don't seem like they want to be there, then I'm peacing out real quick. That's another thing, engaging with the chat. Read the comments. Respond back to people, like have a personality, act like you want to be there. I've been in so many shows where people just don't read the comments and it just baffles me. It's like, these are people that might buy from you and they have questions or, they want to talk to you. Like, why aren't you engaging with them? If you're having a bad day, log off, try it again tomorrow. Another thing I recommend is loading the listings before the show. Again, just to have that fast pace, because, it wastes time. I could have a whole rack of clothes behind me and they're not listed. And then someone's like, oh, I want to see that sweatshirt. So you're like, oh, the sweatshirt. Okay, here it is. Now wait, I got to load it in the store. And then that just wastes more time. And I'm like falling asleep over here. I'm like, what? Just load your things. Like, it does take work. Live selling is a lot of work. It really is. So the preparation that goes into it, if you even want to prepare, again, I feel like you should. Loading stuff for your shows, taking pictures. When you're on camera, like you gotta, like at least I do. I have like a lot of energy. It's really draining sometimes for sure. It's so much fun. I love it. This is like my favorite thing that I've ever done. With that being said, live selling isn't for everyone. It really truly isn't. If you try it out a few times and it's not for you, you don't have to do it. It's okay to try something and not either succeed at it or not like it. Like, that's completely okay. I have watched some sellers for quite a while and I'm like, do they even really like this? Do they even want to be here. If you guys can hear noises, I'm sorry. My brother-in-law is down in our basement. We're redoing our basement. We're finishing our basement, adding like 2 new bedrooms and like another room down there. I might actually move my room down there. I don't know, we'll see, but there's a lot of ruckus going on, so I apologize if you can hear the noise. The next recommendation is to have in-demand trendy items. So I feel like it's going to be different with every platform. I feel like each platform has stuff that sells better because, you know, like the age groups on there and just what people prefer. So it definitely depends on the app they are selling on. I know on Jamble, it's definitely a younger audience on there. We're trying to get the old folks on there. I don't mean anything by that. I'm considered an old folk, I feel like. So we're trying to change the demographics on that app, but right now it's like a younger crowd. So, you know, like the Lululemon, the Brandy Melville, the Gymshark, Free People, the Urban Outfitters, you know, like those type of trendy brands will sell well on there. Whereas on Poshmark, I feel like you can sell anything on Poshmark, really. Like any brand, I feel like there's an audience for, just because their audience on there is so much bigger. Another tip I have is to have good lighting. Have good lighting. You don't have to buy a ring light, although they're super affordable now. You can get ring lights on Amazon for like 20-30 bucks. You can get one of the little lights that clips to your phone. If you don't want to get a ring light, you can film in front of a window. You can get that natural light. Definitely have good lighting because you want people to see the things that you're selling. You don't want there to be any discrepancy. You know, maybe you sold a sweatshirt and you held it up in the dark and it looked like it was black, but it was actually blue, but they couldn't tell because, you know, your lighting sucked. So yeah, definitely have good lighting. I like to watch shows that have like cool backgrounds. So obviously I have like this background for my YouTube videos, but if you've ever been in any of my live shows, my current background is a big clothing rack and I've got 50 something different colored Lululemon belt bags in my background. I've seen live shows where people are, you know, like sitting on the floor or on their bed that isn't made. Like if you have to sit on your bed, just make it, you know, like presentation goes a long way. You don't have to have, you know, something professional, just make it look neat and clean. Okay, my last tip that I have is be consistent. Be consistent. That's literally the key to a lot of things. Just be consistent. I do have certain days that I do shows on. Like I will 99% of the time always do a show on Saturday night. Saturday nights have actually been my thing for a long time. There are days of the week that I've found that aren't as successful, but I feel like that will vary platform to platform. It also depends on who's going live at the same time as you. That's another huge thing, which really isn't in your control, unfortunately. You know, it is harder to go live when there are bigger sellers that are live at the same time as you. Really, the only thing that you can do to fix that, to try to help that, is to set yourself apart, make people want to be in your show, be known. Another tip I have is to like advertise yourself, you know, like post on social media, try to gain a following. I've given that tip to a lot of live sellers and I've had a bunch of them say, oh, I don't have time to do social media. And then I'm just like, well, then it is what it is, you know. Live selling is a lot, and in order to be successful, you do have to work for it. You have to be consistent. You have to, you know, advertise yourself, get your name out there. It's also helpful to go into other people's shows and chat in their shows. You don't necessarily have to buy anything from people, but just, you know, be in the chat. You know, if you're in someone's show and you like the shirt that they're selling, tell them that. Be like, oh, that's a pretty shirt. You know, you don't have to buy stuff, just let people see your name. So those are just a few of my tips on how to be a successful live seller in 2024. There are so many other tips. If you guys want a part 2, I could do that. Comment down below and let me know your best live selling tip. Again, live selling isn't for everyone. Some people think it's cringe. Some people love it, like me. I love it. I think it's so much fun. Some people just prefer to list their listings on, you know, Poshmark and let the bots do their thing. I personally love it because I get to interact with people. I get to talk to people. I also love, you know, going to a thrift store in the morning and then being able to sell everything that night. I don't like holding on to things. Again, comment down below and let me know if you have any tips. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.